with Jim from Indiana at SuperCom 2009. We're talking about telecom industry trends. Jim, what kind of trends do you see among your customers?
I see a slowdown in TDM technologies, the DS1s, the DS3s, the OC3s, OC12s, and an increase in the packet-based technologies, mainly Ethernet and IP transport.
Do you think that's happening because customers are just looking for more bandwidth?
Definitely. Bandwidth is a concern. As we go from the 2G to the 3G to the 4G networks, where the applications are more bandwidth intensive, voice and video, we're finding our networks now need to be more robust to support that demand and bandwidth.
So what would you say is the most interesting technology nowadays?
A lot of what we're seeing is, I guess, what they call the 4G technology, where now the assumption is as I'm driving down the highway in my minivan and I have my DVD blaring to my kids in the back, now they don't have to ask me for the next DVD. It can now be broadcast to the minivan via a cellular network. And now, whatever the program is of choice, they can download that. So it's now providing the network that supports the 4G network that enables my kids to see the DVD that they wanted in the back of the minivan.
So as service providers are deploying all this new equipment to keep up with this bandwidth need, are they giving a lot of thought to energy efficiency and cost savings?
Yes, very much so. Amongst everything else, our devices have to be network hardened, so we aren't able to deploy air conditioners out at cell towers and tops of buildings and things like that. So the devices necessarily have to run at lower energy rates. We're looking for devices that consume 2 to 3 watts as opposed to 15 to 16 watts of energy, less than a light bulb, in order to keep the heat signature low. We also look at different colorations. We paint our boxes white or silver to reflect the sun's heat, to keep them cool, and we do different things in order to provide natural ventilation.
That's great. Do you think people will pay a little bit more for a product if it saves them energy in the long run?
If energy is money, yes. So if they all of a sudden recognize that they are paying more for gasoline or natural gas or just energy from the power company, anything that saves them there while provides them more enjoyment, I think they'll strive for it.
What kind of issues do you have in managing your network? Do you have a way to pinpoint where your trouble spots are?
Knowing where it's going to grow next. We service a lot of Tier 3 cities, not NFL cities, not Major League Baseball cities, but Tier 3 cities, and knowing where the next university is going to pop up and say, we need a gigabit or 10 gigabits of capacity for our new University Science Center, and making sure that we have the network there in place ahead of time so that they're not waiting hopefully more than 60 days, but definitely not a year or 2 years for whatever they're looking for.
Bandwidth on demand.
Bandwidth on demand.
Okay. What other trends are you seeing? Anything interesting that you want to talk about?
Definitely seeing a lot more wireless applications, which demand a lot more fiber applications. How do we provide resilient 911 uninterruptible service and still provide everyone with the bandwidth they need wherever they are?
So if you had a magic wand and you could get your network to do one thing, what would it be?
Grow instantaneously at no cost.
Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything here at SuperCom today that you thought was really interesting? What's the most interesting thing you've seen?
I haven't seen the ADC booth. I was like, where's ADC? So it's interesting. This is, I would say this is my 6th SuperCom. I usually get to hear about once every 3 years, and it's interesting to see where the technologies are trending and how things are going. Still, and as I look at the technologies, a lot more packet-based technologies are out, but more towards the edge as opposed to the center. So I'm not seeing the big routers, at the center of the network as much, at least not at this show.
Yeah. So. Great. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Well, thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your time here at SuperCom.
Well, thank you.